Hello, welcome to Tarot 2T. Today's reading will be for June 2023, about mid-month. This will be for the sign of Capricorn. And if this is the first time to my channel, welcome. And if you're returning, welcome back. You might have noticed that I've cut back on the readings. So if you missed it last time around, the announcement I made, I'm just cutting back for a couple of months while the summer's here and I have other projects going on. I'm also going on vacation in July, so I'm going to try to get readings done either before or after. But we will go back to the regular 2 readings per month in a couple of months, okay? So for now, I'll do my darndest to get 1 reading out per sign per month. So this will be a general reading. If it doesn't resonate with you, please come back and join me for the next one, which, like I said, should be either early July or late July, depending on when I'm inspired to do your sign again. And I am an intuitive reader. I can't always see details, but I pick up the impression of what's going on with you, and I think that's most important because internally, having guidance and insight ultimately is more valuable than hard, cold facts. I think most people on the path would agree. Well, we got a lot of flippers. Okay, one more card for Capricorn, and we will get started. And don't forget to hit the like symbol if I forget to mention at the end of the video. Sometimes I kind of blow it and I forget to say that. If you like the video, it's very important for the algorithms and the powers that be, AI, whoever's controlling YouTube, so that you can keep seeing my readings, okay? And please subscribe if you haven't already. So we have 9 of spades, 7 of clubs. Wow, look at all this internal experience. The 7 of hearts. And the 10 of diamonds. Well, that's interesting. You have the plethora here of experiences, honestly, Capricorn. On the one hand, I'm just going to, since I'm holding the 10 of diamonds here, there's some kind of major completion here that has ended in some great abundance and prosperity. It could have been some kind of bar that you set for yourself in business or some employment situation. You've reached your goals, or you are reaching your goals. Like I said, it will complete a cycle. That doesn't mean you can't go even higher. It's just whatever chapter that you are embarking on in this period of your life, there's some kind of success to recognize here. I'll just say that. Even if you're not rolling in money and you're a millionaire, it's not really about that. It's just having sights on, again, some kind of goal and reaching it. Now down here you did have a completion of some kind of loss that you're going through, possibly. And I say you're going through because you have the 7 of hearts, which is disappointment and pain around, usually around a person. It can be a situation, but it's somebody that let you down. Somebody that, you know, things were wonderful in the beginning and then they were short-lived and it kind of petered out. It kind of fizzled, dive bombed towards the earth, you know, all of the above. But it was a major disappointment and loss here for you that I would say that you're going through a period of grieving still. It's just kind of denoting that that's completed, that's behind you, which is good. Which is good. You don't need to be hanging on to it. 7 of clubs. You're feeling trapped in some way. You're feeling like your hands are tied. Not sure what that's about. It could be about the situation I'm referring to that was a loss, that somebody hurt you, and that you're experiencing this pain. Like, I'm kind of envisioning somebody being caught up in this pain and knowing they can't do anything about it. It could be as simple as that. Or literally, there's something else going on in your life that's making you feel confined. A prisoner. Like you're held to it. I do think it's wrapped up with the situation, though, because it came out with those 2 cards. The major loss and the pain you're still experiencing internally. Let's go ahead and look at the rest of the cards that I pulled. The Jack of Hearts, Ten of clubs, nice. Eight of clubs, Queen of spades, okay. And the Ace of clubs. Very nice with the Ace of clubs. You're on some kind of new start to learn some kind of new information or skill. Or perhaps even to learn about some kind of new experience. Like, let's say you've emerged from whatever this heartbreak was down here. This could denote that you're on this new path to not fall into the same trap. For example, if it was a... Sorry, this is bugging me. Let's say it was a relationship that went bad. You're determined not to fall into the same trap. So that's about, going forward and learning from that experience and recognizing that you've learned something from it. That's very important. You do have your heart open, though, or you're dealing with a younger water sign, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. If it's not a younger water sign or a less experienced water sign around you, this could be you, again, having that vulnerability, having your heart open to whatever comes your way. With the Ten of Clubs, there could be some travel involved. Now, sometimes I see this literally as the physical travel, but this is, again, a completion that's instigating this freedom. Going on vacation, just going out and enjoying yourself, maybe being invited on a trip with a friend that's unexpected. It's always for good reasons, though. It's not travel out of necessity or for... something tragic is happening, you have to travel, for example. It's not about that. It's always positive. So just keep that in mind. Now, if you're not experiencing any kind of opportunity like that, it could be mentally or emotionally. You've traveled from one space to another. Coming out of this pain and heartbreak, for example, and traveling, and you're headed that way. Even though it still showed up in the reading, you're headed that way. More positive space, more balance. Again, 10, wrapping up a cycle, so it's behind you. Eight of clubs, the Queen of spades. Now this is a little bit tricky. I'll just point out first, the Queen of spades could be an air sign you're dealing with, a Libra, Gemini, or Aquarius. If you're not dealing with somebody external that fits this criteria, this description, because there's some kind of decision to be made. You could be trying to make a decision about an air sign. Somebody with a little bit of power, too, I will add, because it's a queen. Or this could be you in your hermit mode, because I tend to see the Queen of Spades as like the hermit card. Being very reserved, quiet, not telling people what's going on with you inside. Not necessarily internalizing things, but going through like an incubation period of just having to explore what's going on internally. And there could be some kind of decision wrapped up with that. That's the Eight of Clubs. It's a lot of times it's being stuck on some kind of outcome, and therefore you're stuck in decision mode because you can't make up your mind, or you can't push yourself to go one way or the other. This could be an internal conflict, honestly, that you're having at this time in June 2023. We'll go ahead and ask for more cards to describe, let us know what's going on with Capricorn, especially with their internal experiences, which seems to be highlighted in this reading today. Seven of Spades, yeah. So some kind of truth was revealed. If it hasn't occurred to you already, it will. I'll just say that, but this probably has occurred. I'm getting the sense that you've realized something. It's an epiphany card. It's also something external that could have been revealed to you, like, say there's some kind of deceit coming from somebody, or somebody was hiding facts or information. That's what the Seven of Spades is about. So there's something you've come to realize, which would... I'm just going to venture out there and say it might have to do with this disappointment with this person or situation that you're still processing, getting through. Any more cards for Capricorn, please? Five of Spades. Now this is the breakup card. I do think there was some kind of breakup. And let's say, you're already physically separated from them. This could be the final straw. The emotional breakup, like the like I said, the final straw. Like if you gave somebody a second chance, you don't have to be living with them necessarily. Although that could be literally, you know, you've decided it has to end. But it could also just be internally you've decided, yeah, this has to go. This is the change. This is what you're going through in June. I strongly feel that you're going through. Let's recap just for a second here. You're going through something you've realized that's come to light that you can't deny. And as a result, yeah, you've broken yourself off from it. Because you need to, because it's not a healthy situation, and you recognize that. And you're still processing this pain. We won't negate that and minimize that. But it's a necessary, what they call that, the bittersweet pill that you have to swallow. I'm hearing the bittersweet pill. Ace of Diamonds. You are in a new start in your finances as well. You're looking ways to increase your income. Again, this is actually very complementary to this Ten of Diamonds that I talked about earlier about reaching some kind of goal. Financially, especially, or success-wise. And how that's wrapped up. Yep, you've turned right back around and you said, okay, what's the next ladder to climb here? What's the next goal you want to have in mind for yourself? Because this is about someone seeking additional abundance, additional income. That flow of abundance is seems to be going very well for you at the moment. Jack of Spades, again, air sign energy, Libra, Gemini, or Aquarius, somebody younger or somebody less experienced. There could be a little bit of deceit around them. If there is an external air sign, again, now if you have that external air sign, again, we had that Queen of Spades up here, and you trying to make a decision around them, some kind of inner conflict. If it's not, this is again an internal experience. That's what I wanted to point out. So it could be somebody outside of you not revealing their feelings and what they're thinking. And this Jack of Spades highlights that they do have something going on that may not be in your best interest, because this person has a second agenda, or I should say a hidden agenda, right? Now, if it's not an air sign around you, that's you being internal with the Queen of Spades. And this is you not trusting. Something about a person. Maybe you're just still holding on to some distrust. Again, with this wrapped up in this pain, wrapped up in this completion, this letdown, this disappointment, this loss that you've gone through. Yeah, I'm not picking up much else on it, except it could go either way, I think. Again, these are general readings, so I have to include anything that I'm feeling that they could pertain to, because everybody's situation is different. There's no way to read for all Capricorns. Wish there was. Wouldn't that be cool? What else can you tell me about Capricorn situation? Nine of Clubs. Again, there's some kind of achievement that you've experienced recently. This is being very satisfied with the outcome as well. Again, a completion. So you've got highlights here on completions. The Nine of Spades, the Nine of Clubs. You got the Ten of Clubs and the Ten of Diamonds. Major cycles completing, both in some kind of relationship situation as well as some kind of success, business, finance situation. Let's go ahead and ask for cards of advice. What's the best advice for Capricorn in June 2023? Three diamonds, okay. Decisions to be made. Yep. Okay, I had a card in my fingers here and everything fell, but we have the Nine of Diamonds, so I'm going to pick these up and start shuffling with them again. More cards of advice. Six of Clubs. Okay. Jack of Clubs. So there's decisions to be made here around finances. I think you're being kind of pulled in a couple different directions. There's just a little sense of unclarity, lack of clarity. I don't know if unclarity is a word. I've used that before, and I don't want to sound illiterate, but I don't think it's a word. I still think it's a word I made up. Lack of clarity around a financial situation, perhaps what to do with this abundance, or sense of a success you have with the Ten of Diamonds, or maybe just a general lack of clarity around your finances going forward. I didn't see a whole lot about that except that you reach some kind of pinnacle and you're on this new journey with the Ace of Diamonds to increase your income. So maybe it's decisions around how to proceed, because I didn't see a windfall. Okay, just throwing that out there because I have to kind of reflect on my interpretation and what I'm sensing from this. Now, the Nine of Diamonds does talk about you being able to take financial responsibility. Again, some kind of completion here has allowed you to improve, at least in some area. Maybe it's debt, maybe it's taking care of things that need to be replaced, worn out appliances, dishwashers that are broken, roofs that need to be replaced, or just, things that aren't working for you anymore. You're able to take financial responsibility. This isn't extravagant spending by any stretch of the word. It's necessities. And you need to recognize that achievement around that as well with the Nine of Diamonds. And you have gone through a significant amount of personal growth. Let's not forget that. I do think this is related to the situationship that ended, because we see traces of that, right, with the Seven of Hearts and the Nine of Spades, and the Five of Spades, recognizing that you've finally broken yourself off from it in some permanent way. This opens up more opportunities for you, though, because you've grown. You're on the next level. It's like analogy with a video game. You've completed one level or one screen. Now you get to go to the next. So that's a very positive card there, Capricorn. And the Jack of Clubs, you might be dealing with a younger or less experienced fire sign around you who's a support, a friend, Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries. I'm not saying it's you, and I think this is somebody perhaps you're being guided to not support, but, well, you could support them, but count on their support. Count on their support in some way. And the generosity doesn't have to mean them helping you out financially, although it could, but it could be just being generous with their time and energy, right? More cards of advice. Okay, here's the separation. Yeah, you definitely exited a relationship. Here's the physical separation. So if you were still cohabitating with them, or you still are, because we are looking at your vice, you may be being nudged to separate from them physically. If you're not living with them, maybe it's just letting go of some items that they gave you, or I don't know. But this is all about physical separation. If it's not in a romantic relationship sense, sometimes this can mean some kind of physical separation that has to occur otherwise. Like you have to travel for work. But I think it's about the relationship, because we have both those cards of change out here. The Five of Spades and the Five of Hearts. Breakup and separation, yeah. I just can't imagine what else it would pertain to. I don't think it would throw us something random. Any more cards of advice for Capricorn? Or we wrap it up. Yeah, here you go. Not sure if this is a great note to end on, but it is a reminder that things are unsettled, things are up in the air, and you don't know what's headed your way. Because this is the Fool card with the Joker. I always see the Joker as things being unsettled. There's a lot of uncertainty involved with that. Some people become very anxious about the future. The Fool card is, to me, actually a positive message. It's about being open and not having any preconceived ideas, or being, again, stuck on outcomes, for example, which I think up here, I think this is you, this internal experience of being stuck on some kind of outcome, and therefore you're being very quiet about it. And it's causing a lot of internal conflict. The Fool card does remind you that we don't have absolute control over our destiny and our future always. I mean, we're headed in a general direction, but stops along the way, the experiences along the way are a bit out of our control. But I could see it as an optimism as opposed to letting it scare you, if that makes sense. One more card. I don't like to end on that. I don't know. This is kind of like going off into oblivion, and no solid resting point with that card, especially with advice. Too many cards. Five of Diamonds. Okay, changes again in your finances. You have all these fives out here. There is change coming if it hasn't already occurred, and this is about a negotiation or settlement. It doesn't have to be like a legal situation, but it could. Or somebody that owes you money or something in exchange, maybe for some work you're doing for them. There could be some sizable payout with that. Or just some kind of negotiation you're having with somebody you're living with. Be it family or a roommate situation, doesn't really matter. I'd say that's a little bit of a, yeah, you still will be able to recognize that you've achieved some kind of financial, maybe not financial freedom. I was hearing freedom. Not freedom like you don't ever have to worry about bills again, but just room to breathe. A little bit more control over your finances. And again, you're on this path to start in a new direction with your finances. So I think that's all tied up in some way. The changes that are going to occur here, the decisions that need to be made around some kind of finances or some kind of financial direction. I think I'm getting that you're a little bit perplexed about your financial direction with that three of Diamonds, but do recognize you have achieved something here, and you do have a little bit more flexibility than you did before. I'm strongly picking that up. I am going to wrap it up there, Capricorn. I don't think it's a bad reading at all. There's a lot going on with the ending of a relationship, but your finances and your financial future is off to a very positive start. And you have gained a lot of experience that was needed, obviously, with this personal growth. So don't let those things get you down. Looking at the past is okay for a time, but then we have to look to the future, the Fool card. We have to look to the future with open eyes and a fresh perspective, and just not hanging on to anything. Not letting it hold us back or drag us down. I think that's the message here today. Thank you for joining me. Don't forget to hit the like. I remembered. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't. I will be back as soon as I can to give you another reading. In the meantime, take care and enjoy your week.